Hey guys, it's Natasha of natashaskitchen.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make my mom's famous light rye and whole wheat bread. This recipe is delicious for sandwiches. It's just a great all-purpose bread. You're going to love it. It does take some time because it has a lot of rising time but very little actual active time. So let's get started on this great bread recipe. Let's talk about this easy list of ingredients. You'll need 2 1/4 cups of warm water, half a tablespoon of salt, 1 1/2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of active dry yeast, 3/4 cup plus another 2 1/2 cups of better for bread flour or Canadian flour. Then you'll need 3/4 cups of whole wheat flour, 3/4 cup of rye flour, 2 tablespoons of canola oil, and you'll need a sifter. Let's get started with making this bread. This first part is so easy you can make it while drinking your coffee. You're gonna take your 2 1/4 cups of water. Make sure it's warm water, not hot or cold, because you want the yeast to be activated, but you don't want to kill it with hot water. Then add your sugar and your salt, and just whisk those together to combine. Next, you're gonna sift in your 3/4 cup of each flour along with your yeast, and just sift those together right into the mixing bowl. See all that really great stuff at the bottom of the sifter? You don't want to get rid of that because it's packed with all the good stuff from these flours, so go ahead and toss that into your mix. Then you're gonna whisk everything together, and you should have something like a pancake batter consistency or a cake batter. You're gonna just let that sit at room temperature for about 3 hours and stir it every hour or so. There we go. See how it's all smooth and nice? The batter's ready. It's been about 3 hours. We've been mixing it every hour, and it's nice and fluffy now. So what we're gonna do is set the bowl onto the mixer, and using the dough hook, stir in about 1/2 cup of flour. And then we're gonna add in about a heaping tablespoon of flour, and letting that really blend together before you add more flour. So this whole thing takes about 15-20 minutes. This is the part that takes the longest amount of time, but it's so worth it. So you're gonna start by adding about 1/2 cup of the better for bread flour, and let that really blend into the batter. And just scrape down the bowl as you go to get all that flour really well incorporated into the batter. And add a heaping tablespoon at a time of flour, and just continue to let that mix in on speed 2. Okay, we're putting in our last heaping tablespoon, and you can see what the dough looks like right now. It's still sticking to the bowl. Just turn that back on until it's well incorporated. Alright, once you have all the flour mixed in, go ahead and add your 2 tablespoons of canola oil. After adding the oil, you're gonna let that mix for about 10 minutes on speed 2, just until it's no longer sticking to the walls. While your mixer is going, just go ahead and grease 2 bread pans. And if you don't have bread pans at home, it's okay to not use them. You can just make your bread right on a cookie sheet. That's what my mom's done in the past, and it actually turns out very nice. Alright, you'll see the dough's no longer sticking to the walls, and adding the oil can be a little bit tricky because at first it looks like it's coming off of the walls, and then it looks like it's really sticking to the walls, like you didn't add enough flour, but after about 20 minutes of mixing, it actually does come off the walls. It still feels sticky to the touch, but you know it's done when it actually comes off the walls of the mixer, so you don't need to add more flour. Take your dough hook out of your dough. You're gonna see it's nice and elastic. And you're gonna leave this uncovered at room temperature for about 45 minutes, and it's gonna double in volume. The dough is now double in size. Transfer the dough onto the countertop. It's gonna stick to the bowl a little bit, and that's okay. Just get it out onto the countertop. It's nice to have well-oiled fingers, and that way the dough won't stick to your hands. So form it into kind of a log shape. And then what you're gonna do is take it down the center and just pinch it off. So then you end up with 2 pieces. Easy as that. And then after that, we're gonna take each piece and transfer it into the prepared bread pan. And once it's in the bread pan, just go ahead and mold it to the pan so that you don't have any empty spaces in the corners. Once you have the dough molded to your bread pan, you're gonna let it sit uncovered at room temperature for about an hour and a half. You want it to triple in volume. And just before it's done rising, you're gonna preheat your oven to 360 degrees Fahrenheit. Our bread is now tripled in size and it's ready to go in the oven. So bake at 360 for about 55 minutes and it's gonna be a beautiful golden brown when it's done. As soon as the bread comes out of the oven, go ahead and butter the top lightly and take it out of the molds right away. If you keep it in the molds, it can get kind of moist and mushy and you want the crust to stay nice and crisp and perfect. So take it out right away, put it on a wire rack to cool, and that's it. Just wait for it to cool down a little bit and then you can enjoy.
Thank you. Good bread. Good bread, Mama. Good bread.